think once you get to a certain age, you have to use the term interwebs because you're just an old fogey. So I've reached that point. This is Osiris, not Osiris AI. It is really my voice. Last couple of videos have been 100% artificial intelligence with my voice. And now it's really me in real life with the homie Ray Studios. What's up, man? You got a cameo guitar? What's going on? What's good, bruh?
Well, to actually, you know how this is actually a Dimebag Daryl guitar, my all-time favorite musician. It's like he had two camo guitars. This is actually a lighter one, and this one's called the Camo Flag. And here's the thing about the camouflage. If you notice real quick, it looks like the black spots are just black spots, but that's actually Dime right there. Look at some of these patterns. That's him holding his guitar. See, let me hold. Can you look now? Look now, the one where the tailpiece is.
Yeah,
Dimebag.
You got some dope stuff, man. If you don't know, we talk about Dimebag, rest in peace, from Pantera.
And we were talking.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm not the biggest metal guy. I just know a little something. But that's dope, man. So I didn't know you play guitar.
Yeah.
Wait, it's been so long since I did a live. The homie Ray Studios got the Ghostbusters coffin in the crib. The setup looks dope, and he's on guitar. How long have you been playing it?
I've been playing the guitar since I was a kid. I just never talked about it because my dad's a musician too. So that's how I became a musician myself.
Hey, man, I haven't played in a minute. I used to play piano, violin, and viola. Talked about it a couple times. I never played guitar. That's dope, man. So you're into the chords. What do you like to play?
Mainly I like rock, metal, and even occasionally country.
Okay, that's dope, man.
Yeah, like I told you before we went live that I'm actually I'm going to be doing some upgrades and adjustments to it. I took the strings off because I'm going to replace the strings because the tailpiece right here, which is the silver part, that's where the strings connect to the rest of the guitar. I'm going to replace it. It's a silver one. I'm replacing it with the black one, so it's going to look better. And I'm also going to shine it up, and it has a couple dinks in it. Not much I can do there, but yeah. And I also do plan to spray paint the back of the neck too to give it more of a gray color instead of just a regular wood.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Nice. Some good stuff going on with the homie Ray Studios. Timmy Tim's up in here already talking Trump 2024. What's good? Toy Mafia, yo. Long time no chat. Great to see Toy Mafia up in here early. We're going to go until 1 a.m. Eastern, 11 p.m. Central. I have a hard out, but we just wanted to get together, man. It's been a minute. I haven't been able to do a live. Ray was like, let's talk about some of this stuff, man. In the minute, the markets are crashing. We haven't talked since Trump took a graze to the ear, bullet to the face.
Even before that, it's been longer than that since me and you did a show.
We haven't done a show every time. Ray, how many firsts have we done? First time that they booted out an elderly man and propped up a vice president as president without any type of voting process. And Donald Trump, first time we've seen a president running for election, the second time taking an earpiece off, somebody taking a piece of his ear off on live television. So many things we've seen, man. But Ray, you also commented that I'm in a different place politically too. We can talk about that too. What do you want to talk about? Let's lay it out.
The first one I want to talk to you about was what we was what I mentioned right before we went live, and I've actually been talking about this for weeks now. Actually, has it been a couple weeks? I don't know. It hasn't been that long though. Is that me and you have talked many times before about how how conservatives are having more kids than liberals and how this kind of stuff. I'm how I've been against that for a while. Because I think everyone should have kids and stuff like that because of how bad the population decline is, how low birth rates have gotten. But I've gotten to this point now where I'm starting to see that how am I supposed to say this correctly? We may have lost the culture war because we only found out because we're almost at the end of it already, and we lost because we didn't get on top of it quick enough because let's face it, Gen Z is the most liberal generation of them all. It's not even close. They vote over 70% Democrat. And what we did notice though is that most of the people that are having kids tend to be more conservative. Conservative. Now there obviously are some liberals that are having kids. No one's saying anything. That's obviously happening. But if you look at the statistics, conservatives are having more kids than liberals. And like I'm probably sure you found out. I found out from Tim Pool as well, because he's the first one that I noticed to at least really talk about it. And I've just gotten to the point now where like we're gonna have to deal with a lot of crap for a long time. There's no choice, because like I said, we've lost the culture war at least for a while. That's just my opinion. And so what's going to happen is like probably, I'm not even sure Trump's going to win. I'm not even convinced of that. I don't know, because of how liberal Gen Z is. They always vote Democrats. So and probably Gen Alpha too is going to be even more woke left than even Gen Z is. I can already see that coming down the pipeline already. I truly see that. So this is what I've came to. I've done a lot of thought. I've had a lot of thought on this, and this is just where my mind is now. We're going to have to put up with this for a long time. Actually, generations. We're just going to have to accept where we are right now, because there's no way we can just vote our way out of it, because we are outnumbered because of how they've indoctrinated and how they've taken over the culture over the last 90 plus years. So you were Osiris, even you and Steven, and who was that other guy that was on your weekly Rumble thing where you guys were talking about the Groypers and stuff like that? I forgot who that one guy was. You had him on your weekly Rumble. I forgot what his name was. Where you talked about how.
Sorry, your mic went out. Yeah, I forgot his name. You talking about from a while back, the special guest? Yeah. Yeah, gosh, I gotta follow him too, because he was good. Oh, are you talking about Peter Quinones? Oh, I remember his name, because that was special. I think you're talking about Peter. If I'm pronouncing his last name, I might be messing up his last name. But Ray's getting his. Yep.
Yeah, he talked about how the Groypers. He talked about how the Groypers, like if they want to actually become legitimate, they should get into the military, because just regular people doing nothing that have no experience with stuff, they're not going to put up any fight against anything. And you mentioned in that when you said the Groypers better be having kids, because even though the Groypers are not having kids whatsoever, they talk so bad about women that they're forgetting to actually start relationships with them. So yeah, you mentioned that. And so I've taken a piece from that. I've thought more about that too. And like I said, this is going to be a generational thing. We can't solve this anytime soon, because we lost the culture war because we came in too late at this. So my point is, with conservatives having more kids than liberals, I know I'm going to have Duke on my show tomorrow, and he's going to disagree with me on this. But we can't stop. Abortion's not going to become illegal anytime soon. It's never going to become illegal in our lifetime. Not mine either. So there's and also they're just choosing not to have kids in general as well. We kind of just might have to have no choice but to let them do it, because that's the only way we can win. Because over the course of generations, with conservatives having more kids than liberals, guess what? There's going to be more conservatives than liberals, and the liberal ideology will slowly phase out. But I mean, it'll take generations. It won't be in our lifetime, but that's the only chance I think we have for the future of this country.
Yeah, Ray coming out with fire, spitting fire, talking about the birth rates of conservative and liberals. I am different on the abortion topic, where I think it should be left up to the local areas to handle it. I am not pro-abortion, but
I'm pro-life, but I'm just like at the point where we know we're not going to outlaw abortion. It's not going to happen. And plus, whether we like it or not, it has cost us the past couple elections. It has. Whether anyone wants to admit it or not, that's just what has happened. Yeah. So what I'm saying is we're going to have to just put up with it for a while. We can't put all of our focus on that, because it's just going to cost elections. Mainly because women and the soy boy men are going to vote against abortion and make it legal. That's what's going to happen. So I'm like, let's not focus on that right now. We need to focus on I'm preparing the next generations of conservatives and libertarians to try to better the country, because that's our only hope at this point, in my opinion. Because, like I said, we're gonna have to deal with this for a long time, and I might, like I said, even if whether Trump wins or not, this isn't going to end it. He's only going to have 4 years, so we're going to have to, regardless, we're going to have to put up with it anyway. So we're going to have to do this long term, and that's just where I've gotten to this at this point. We have no choice but to think long term instead of thinking what at this very moment.
Yeah, I remember that moment when I talked about it with the Groypers. The Groypers better have babies. Yeah, they better. I still want to clip that up from Peter from that discussion to post it on YouTube and X and everywhere else. So I still will do that. I mean, that's a topic that's not going to die down. It's not like it's a topic that there's no more interest. That's a big topic. The one thing though is, what do you think about the even though me and the Groypers have got into it a lot on Twitter lately. We've gotten into it a lot on Twiter. They don't like me at all. I got along with them, but they don't like me anymore. They don't. Mainly because I've been speaking out against Nick mostly. So yeah. Yeah, let's get into let's hash out.
We'll get into Nick later. I wanted to hear what else he had to say on that topic first.
Yeah. Let's get into. We're gonna talk about the abortion stuff. Let's get into before Nick, because I got flamed last time we didn't talk. Last time I did a video and I uploaded like a topic that was hot, and we didn't talk about it. I got flamed in the comments. So let's talk about Brian Kemp, and then I think that'll be a good transition. The kids' future, the battle there, Brian Kemp, Trump, the rally, how you feeling about MAGA in general, and then Nick. But so as far as the kids go, what do you think about the indoctrination, though? So, what's the left, for a lack of a better term, obviously understands if they control the institutions, all of them, entertainment, education, name it. If they control it, it doesn't matter if conservatives have kids. They're just going to turn them into what they want them to be.
Well, that's exactly why when I have kids, they're not going to public school or have access to the internet. They're not going to be allowed to. No.
Yeah. So that's going to be hard to kind of duplicate on a mass scale, though. So when Tim brings that up, he knows that. So I don't know if I'm totally sold on that mattering.
Yeah, but it is. If you do look at the statistics, conservatives do tend to have more kids than liberals.
Oh yeah,
that's not up for debate. Like I said, I plan to have as many as possible. That's what I want to do.
Yeah, but then you look at it. I mean, you've got J.D. Vance, went to Yale. Yale, was it? I don't know if it was law, but he went to Yale.
He went to school with Vivek.
Yeah, they both went to Yale, and I don't know if J.D. Vance has changed or not, but he was basically somewhat of a liberal to me, at least socially, from his comments years ago, not recently, when he was younger. And then there were some emails that came out. The reason I'm bringing that up is he grew up in Ohio, hillbilly, that whole hillbilly.
Ohio's a purple state, though, that you have to take that into consideration.
Yeah, but so generally my point is you might be a conservative or live in a conservative area, but then your children go to these institutions and then they come back with blue hair. I don't know what the numbers are, but how do we know if that really will work? Obviously you have to have kids, but
like that you just mentioned, the first rule, have kids, obviously, a bunch of them. And the second rule is don't send them to public school and don't let them have access to the internet.
Yeah. So you'll have to, however you manage that to kind of, here's my thing with my kids. I'm not going to force them. If they turn liberal or whatever left, then that's what it is. I'm trying to teach them to think critically through things. So that's kind of and then they land wherever they land. Yeah. But that's the debate there. That's the concern that I would have.
Yeah. Well, I've been remember on Twitter about a week or so ago, I was telling you and your wife need to get back to work again, having more. So I'm still going to try to convince you on that. I'm still going to try.
No, that's a wrap, bro. I'm 46, got 2 kids, 5 and 7. It's a wrap. It's too much gray. My kid the other day was like, "Daddy, why is all that white stuff growing on your face?" I was like, son, that's called hair. That's gray hair, son. My 7-year-old. It's very innocent, honest. He's like, what is all that? That's hair, son. So no, I'm out the game. Got to focus on them. But you're right. 2 is not a lot.
Because
But I'm grateful for 2. Don't get me wrong. But you're right.
that's just replacement levels. We need to go beyond replacement levels.
Yep.
We,
It's funny. Only conservatives really are concerned about that.
because I mentioned this on Twitter too, that 100, 200 years ago, people had like 7 plus kids, and they were dirt poor. And some people brought up, inflation and stuff like that. Nah, you adjust it properly, they still were dirt poor back even then, and they still manage.
You live within your means. You don't have to have all this equipment, all these big, expensive $1,000 cell phones, and you can live within your means.
Kevin Samuels talked about that. He said, he did a video where he was talking to a black woman, and the black woman had these long fake fingernails, and he saw that, and he said, the reason you can't afford kids is because you buy HSHIT like that. So, and he's completely right. That people put too much value on personal objects. That's really what it's come to. Material objects, I should say.
Yep, I think our homes are too big. I mean, a lot of times you drive around these suburban areas, the homes are huge. You don't really need a big home like that. So yeah, we can have more kids. I don't know what that's going to do politically. I still think that it's more important to have them think critically. And that's why I'm concerned about MAGA, Ray. And we could transition into that if you're ready. I'm concerned about the critical thinking capabilities of a movement that I have always loved, and respectfully, I'm challenging now because there's a lack of critical thinking. What about Brian Kemp and Trump? Do you have comments on the situation there? And
well, I agree with what Trump is saying. I just don't think he probably should have said it, because I know you disagree with the united part, but we still need to be united at this point. Like, I completely agree. Like, Kemp is one of the main reasons why we're even in the situation that we are in right now. Because if he had just looked into the stuff that Trump asked him to after the 2020 election, we wouldn't be in the situation that we are in. Because we would not have lost those 2 Georgia Senate seats. We lost those 2 Georgia Senate seats because Kemp didn't look into the stuff that Trump asked him to. And that just made people think that, well, if the whole process is rigged, why should I go out and vote? So that's what I'm saying right there. And people didn't vote because they thought the whole process was entirely rigged.
Yeah, so if you don't know, Donald Trump went nuclear on Brian Kemp. I think this is the hardest he's ever gone at him, ever. Even in 2020. I can't remember, even in the midterms when Trump backed, what's his name? Jeez, what's the name of the dude?
Burr? No, not Burr.
Doug. Is Doug or something? It begins with a D, whatever his name was. He was such a lame-o for governor. That was after the 2020 election. Trump had turned on Kemp, and he had went with David Perdue, thank you. And David Perdue was a lame-o and lost bigly. And Donald Trump has never gone this hard at Brian Kemp. It wasn't really a surprise because we know that they're not cool. But here, let me ask you about this, Ray. I don't want to get too much into 2020 because I don't have all the stuff here. I don't want to get too much into it. Here's the point of it. Though. Regardless, you don't even need to get into the stuff. There's a lot of people, including myself, the facts of it are pretty much irrelevant at this point. Because there's no way you're going to convince me that 2020, not you, but people are going to convince me that 2020 was legit. Let's talk about Georgia. Brian Kemp and Raffensperger were in on the steal. That's just my opinion. You can't really, it's going to be hard to convince me otherwise. So if that's the case, then how do you not bring it up and pretend like it's not a problem?
Because it'll just be a distraction, and people realize, here we go again. We're still talking about the past. I mean, but when you remember when Tim had Milo on a couple years ago?
Oh yeah. One of my favorite episodes.
That is my favorite episode actually. But besides the point, Tim said in the episode when Milo was defending Trump, Tim said, "Well, Trump spent the last 2 years just nonstop talking about the past," and Milo agreed that he sounded pathetic right there. And the thing is, we can't focus on the past anymore. Like we have our opinions on the 2020 election and also the 2022 election for obvious reasons, but that's in the past. We can't worry about that right now, because if we have the past just lingering on as I'm just dragging us down, what do you think's going to happen? For real, what do you think's going to happen in November? For real.
I mean, here's my thing, and I think that's where the fork in the road kind of is starting with kind of MAGA. I think right now I think a lot of it is stemming from 2020. Can we move on from 2020 and focus on 2024? I'm on the path where 2020 was stolen, and I can't move on from that. I'm not going to try to suppress vote or tell anybody not to vote. You go do you, but I'm not going to sit up here and lie and say, well, let me ignore or kind of push it to the back. So I think that's where the divide is stemming from. The other part of it is I look at Trump, and I've challenged people, and I don't see a significant difference between Donald Trump and Nikki Haley. I don't see a significant difference between Donald Trump and Lindsey Graham. And so then on top of I'm not moving on from 2020. On top of that, I'm not even sold that Trump, allegedly Zuckerberg backed Trump now because he's just
That's not true. That part has not been confirmed.
Trump said that though.
No, he said he talks to Zuckerberg a lot. Because remember, he's a tech guy, and he's the president. To me, president. I don't care what anyone says. I call him President Trump.
Well,
Trump talks to Elon all the time. I'm sure the fact that he talks to Zuckerberg all the time doesn't surprise me. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of CEOs that he talks to all the time.
Yeah. So I mean, so you see that layer though. That's where kind of the divide is coming from. And don't get me wrong, I still say Trump should be, even based on just one term, should be on Mount Rushmore. And it's more than, it's really policy-wise, it was only so much he could get done. The dude beat Hillary Clinton. He brought the populist movement to America, woke so many people up. Culturally, his impact, even though his 4 years weren't bad policy-wise, culturally, his impact is just enormous. One of the most important in politics in the history of America. So, patriot, great man as far as a political figure. But I think he's not. He supports loans to Ukraine now. He supports war with Iran. I don't see the difference. I mean, what is the backing, and what is the thing that gets me hyped to vote for Trump? I mean, he hasn't done it for me.
Like the Ukraine stuff, that part right there, I think what he's referring, at least I don't know the full details on this, but like Trump did say, remember in the debate he said to Biden that if he wins and when he's president-elect, he'll sit both Putin and Zelensky down and have that war settled before he even takes office. So I'm just going by what he said right there.
Yep. So you could do that. But then he said for Iran, after the assassination attempt, he said something to the effect of, I would want war with Iran. Did you hear those comments?
What was the
he said something to the
I thought JD Vance made something similar, but it wasn't exactly like that though.
It wasn't like that. It was very war hawkish. Let's just say.
What did he basically say? Basically,
let me look it up so I don't talk for a second. Let me look it up it up.
Like what I think is going to happen is what Trump said what he's going to do with Putin and Zelensky when he's president-elect. Yeah, I think he would do that with Israel and Hamas. He would sit them both down and hash it all out so that we wouldn't escalate this even worse than what it already is. That's what I think he is going to do if he is president-elect. He'll get all of them in a room, and then they'll all sit down and hash it out. That's what I think is going to happen.
Yeah. So I have to find it. I couldn't find it real quick here, but I don't know the exact quote, but it was very war hawkish after. You remember after the assassination, it was just weird. This memo came out, I believe, or this alert came out
about how Iran was behind it.
Like how Iran was behind it.
Obviously, that was fake. Obviously, it was.
But Trump went along with it, though. Is my problem.
Hmm.
And then
this is a theory. This is something that I have it. This is the theory I have, and like this ties into the theory that Trump, like we think it's pretty obvious, at least to me, younger people, we think that the CIA was behind it, like they were with JFK, in my opinion. And I think this is just my opinion, and I could be wrong on this. Like Trump is part of the older generation that he would buy into like what some people would be actually saying right there with the main narrative. He can buy into it to a degree. Like he may not actually think the CIA was actually involved in it. I think they fully were, but that Trump, like I said, Trump is an older guy. He may actually buy into that Iran narrative.
Yeah. So he said after. So I do have. The quote is, he called for the obliteration of Iran if such assassination attempt were to occur.
So if it was confirmed, is that right? Well, here's my opinion. I'm very anti-war, but if someone actually tries to assassinate a president, what's the options then? That's what I want to know. What would the options be other than obliterating them? Like, I don't want to do that. I'm just saying, what would the options be?
Yeah, but he wasn't though. So that's the problem I'm struggling with here is we see what's happening in the Middle East right now. We're waiting right now. To my knowledge, we haven't seen. Did I miss it? I haven't seen we're all waiting for Iran to get back at Israel right now. Correct. After they assassinated the top Hamas guy.
The leader. The leader of Hamas.
Yeah. So Mossad, I believe Mossad planted a bomb somewhere where he was going to be at. Got him. Mossad is no joke. Mossad can get whoever they want in the world. They are no joke. They got him. And then now Iran might strike back because they got him in, I think it was in Iran when they got him. They could have got him in Qatar, but they got him in Iran. So Iran is going to have to strike back. Then they've got the problems with Lebanon from the north and Hezbollah. So you see how it's all converting to this war, and Trump isn't. I don't see him trying to stop it.
Well,
or speaking out against that. We're heading to this war. That's not what we really need right now. I hear him say we got to back Israel. That's what I hear.
Like the Israel thing right there, saying what do you think? Like, you could say, yeah, you back Israel, but maybe you not actually want to go full on to war. You can take sides and stuff. We'll get into this later, actually. There's something I do want to ask you about the Israel stuff, but we'll get into that later. Is that, because like I said, just because you, say you take a side does not necessarily mean you want to go to war for that side. At least in my opinion. Maybe I'm being naive. I could be, but I just don't see that.
Yeah, so I think Trump is being coy with how he's kind of handling it because Lindsey Graham, I believe it was Lindsey Graham, proposed a bill that would have U.S. forces.
That was stupid right there. That was completely stupid. He has to be out of his mind if he's actually being serious right there.
But see, then Trump doesn't go at him though.
He should.
So, I know. So that's the problem. I have a serious problem with that. Well, you're going after Brian Kemp, which I have no problem with. Brian Kemp is trash. But then he bigs up. Not only does he not go at Lindsey Graham, he praises Lindsey Graham. He brings him up on the stage.
Is he friends with Lindsey Graham personally?
Man, Lindsey Graham was one of the biggest Trump haters. Marco Rubio, Ted Cruz, Lindsey Graham, Nikki Haley, all of them, Kevin McCarthy, they hate Donald Trump. They absolutely despise this dude. But they pretend to like him. Brian Kemp did not play those games. He did not pretend to like Donald Trump. Ron DeSantis didn't do it either. I think they're probably a little bit better now. I'm not sure where they're even at. But you see the difference. All you have to do is pretend to like Donald Trump, and he doesn't even go after you. Brian Kemp didn't pretend. He goes after Brian Kemp. I need MAGA to think through this stuff critically. This doesn't make any sense.
You know something? You'd love to be a fly on the wall in the room when Trump and Lindsey Graham are talking because, like, are they actually friends? Do they actually get along personally? I'm curious about that.
I mean, maybe. Who knows? I don't know their ins and outs. But Lindsey, Lindsey Graham was a part of the Maidan coup in 2014 in Ukraine, along with McCain. I mean, he was very pro-war over there. He's pretty much responsible for regime change, in part, in Ukraine, laundering money and thousands of dead Ukrainian men, reportedly up to 130,000, if you believe the Russians, 130,000 dead men in Ukraine.
That seems low.
I don't know. Yeah, it could be low. I think from what I've seen, the U.S. ones are, the Ukrainians are saying way lower than 130, I guess, from what I'm seeing.
I don't buy that. It has to be higher than that. It has to be higher.
But that type of person is so savage. They're without soul. They're liars. So I don't even know how you can really have a relationship with scum like that.
Yeah,
like
I said, you'd love to be a fly on the wall in the room to know what's actually being said.
Yeah. So let's talk about the blacks real quick, and then Israel, and then Nick. Kind of end with Nick because we got 20 minutes. Okay. So another part of the problem that I have with Donald Trump right now is the pandering to the blacks. It's just completely it's just way out of control. I'll tell you what I think. What do you think about that? Do I need to give you a little bit more what I mean? It's very vague when I'm saying. I can be more specific, but
to me, I don't actually have a problem with it. I truly don't because let's be honest. Like I told you, declining birth rates, population changing, and I told you. And remember when I told you, I believe about a week or two ago, where I think it's possible that white people are already the minority in America, and the census just inaccurately corrected. I don't know if that's true. I just think that's a possibility. That the demographics have changed so much that you can't just rely on white people anymore, regardless of however you want to look at it. Like I said, Trump has to start branching out. We didn't try to branch out in 2022, and look what happened. So by just sticking to our little bubbles, it cost us. So we have to branch out to the other people as well.
Yeah, I think so. There's a couple things to kind of unpack here. When I say that there's pandering to the blacks, that doesn't mean I don't think blacks, even people who use the black as social construct, shouldn't be a part of MAGA. The number one thing is MAGA needs to define what the movement is, and that's what the Amber Rose debate was all about. For me, MAGA is not specifically defined enough for me. Make America Great Again, America First, that was good enough for 2016. We are 9 years after that, and I have no further definition of what that means. That's failure. And why I bring that up is, I don't care what you are, gay, black, whatever identity. You have your group. What I think it should be is the mantra of distributing a group of people who believes power should be distributed to as many people as possible. If you're black and you believe that, come on board and understand it. Come on, whatever you are. But what we're seeing here is, I have no idea what MAGA is, at least from what Trump and what other people are. It's just a brand now. Amber Rose is rocking the MAGA hat. She has no idea what this is about. She's just reading some stupid script.
That part I disagree with you on. Okay,
but let me tell you that. So MAGA doesn't have a clear definition. It just doesn't. And so what Trump's doing now is he's turning into a Democrat to attract Democrats. That's all the term black means. For them, the term black means Democrat. When Trump was at that NABJ, did you see that conference when he was up there?
where he embarrassed that black woman. So yeah.
So Trump is a boss. Trump is such a boss. He was very good in some aspects of it, but so he said he was basically saying Kamala Harris, I don't think she's black, and the reporter said she identifies as black. That was her answer. Identifies as black and went to an all-black college. They know she's not black from a race realism standpoint. That's why she said identifies as black. The black reporter knew she wasn't black. And she said she went to an all-black college. What the hell does that have to do with it? Does that make you black because you went to an all-black college? So what my point is, the term black and what Trump is trying to attract is Democrats. It doesn't make any sense. MAGA can't attract Democrats. Do you understand what I'm saying? Let me stop and see.
I get what you're saying. I disagree with what maybe the Democrats think black means Democrat, but that's not what it actually means, really.
No.
At least to me.
But to them, you see what I mean? The reporter said Kamala Harris identifies. That's the direct quote. Identifies as black. What that means is it's a social construct, right?
Maybe
How do you
maybe that's their view, but that's not what it actually is.
But those are the people Trump is trying to court, though. So and they vote 90% Democrat. That's a waste of time. In 2016, there was none of that, or very little of it.
But you have to remember that the world, the country, is incredibly different from what it was even just 8 years ago. We don't live in the same country that we did back then. Like whether we like it or not, white people lost so much power in these last 8 years. Whether anyone wants to admit it or not, that's what happened. We can at least acknowledge that. We can't
I don't agree. So, but I hear what you're saying.
We lost, we tried it in 2022, and look what happened. We tried to appeal to what we did in 2016, and we still lost, regardless.
2022 was separate. I think that's separate. I think the general election's a better comparison. So you look at 2016, there was very little pandering to blacks. Unless I'm wrong, I'll have to go back and look. I don't remember much of it at all. The 2020, Trump did more pandering to blacks. He got more black votes, lost white votes, and lost the election. 2024, he's doing more pandering to blacks. It's just, even if it does mean losing the election, you have to have a mantra and live by it. And then my other thing is, if you're going to pander to blacks, then you got to pander to whites too. You got to do both. Why would you only pander to whites and then blacks and not mention whites?
To a degree, you kind of could say when he went to that black when he did that interview with I forget what that place was called, when we was interviewing that black woman.
Yeah.
This is gonna sound weird, but I'll just say it. Let me explain it right after I say it. It kind of can appeal to white people too. Here's why: you make the black woman look like a fool of herself, which that would actually turn white people on. We're like, hey, he's making her look like a freaking idiot. So it's appealing to us. So yeah.
I thought about that, and the problem is, I think Trump did great, and he was a boss in that interview, fearless, except for when he goes to, well, we did this for the blacks, we did that for the blacks. That doesn't, what? That's the Democrats. What do you mean? I don't associate with MAGA to hear the leader of MAGA saying I did this for blacks. It doesn't work for me. And
to me, it's not nearly as bad as Biden giving fried chicken to black kids while they're playing basketball.
So then here, I'm a kind of like either go 100% or 0%. If you're gonna pander to the blacks, then you might as well just go full reparations, do everything the Democrats do. I mean, so you see what I'm saying?
Well, there's something I'm thinking about. I won't say it on air. I'll tell you off camera, though. No, because I talked to Derek Gibson, and he's told me some stuff that we'll talk about it off camera.
Well, let's talk about Derek Gibson and why I love and I still love niggas for Trump. So let me explain. Just the way that I took it. I don't know how Derek created it. Maybe you might know.
Me and him talked on the phone of how he created it.
Okay,
He,
so
he,
here,
he told basically he said he was in front of Trump Tower wearing a MAGA hat. I'm gay. I'm lesbian. Black women got out of the car, called him a nigga, and he said, "Well, I'm a nigga for Trump." That's basically how it started. So yeah.
and here's why. Here's why I hate the pandering to blacks, but I really don't like the blacks for Trump, but I love the niggas for Trump stuff, because when you use, and I use this on purpose on X, and I'll even do it on videos. When you use the word nigga, a lot of people run. The cockroaches start. It's like turning the lights on and you see the roaches scatter. A lot of people don't want to have that conversation with niggas and hard ER or whatever else. So it filters it out. Niggas means you're not Democrats. If you use the term black, that's a Democrat term. It just flat out is. They own that term. Niggas, they don't. They don't want any part of the term niggas. And it's niggas for Trump. It's not Trump for niggas. So it's not Trump saying, I did this for niggas, I did that for niggas. He'll say, I did this for the blacks, though, won't he? He won't say, I did this for the niggas. So I like the niggas for Trump, because it's like, I'm for Trump. He doesn't have to profess what he did for me. Make America Great Again isn't make America great again for blacks. It's for everyone. So either you pander to everyone or you don't mention anyone. That's why I like niggas for Trump still.
Well, the thing is, like, you just said pander to anyone. The Groypers and Nick said, well, Trump pandered to white people in 2016. That's not true whatsoever. If correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't recall Trump at any point in time saying, I'm mentioning white people. I do not recall that one time that happened in 2016. He was just, I'm talking about, I'm the working class voter. That's really what he was all referring to in 2016.
Yeah, so we can go to Nick, and I have aligned myself politically much more. If you look at Trump and you look at Nick Fuentes, I am way more aligned with Nick Fuentes. And I have to go back to look to see if he 2016, from my recollection, it was less about pandering to these other groups. And that's really the base of Trump is white men. That's the base. So I think we're in the era where you have to bring your base out. I'm perfectly fine if he doesn't mention white, as long as he doesn't mention black either. If he starts mentioning black, then he's got to back that up with white. How he does that, I don't know. He's got to talk. I mean, his people would never do that. But do you see where I'm talking about? I don't know if he mentioned white, but he definitely wasn't talking nearly as much of this black stuff.
Well, what he was referring to in 2016, from my recollection, he was just talking about working class voters. Now, most of them are probably white people, but a giant percentage of them are black people too, working class voters that have low skill, low paying jobs, and they have no college degree or anything like that. And that's what Trump's referring to when he says black jobs. We're like people have low skill, low paying jobs. That's what black jobs are.
Yeah, that's see, I don't like the term. I don't know what that. Why do you need to say that? So he was at the end. It was the National Association of Black Journalists, where they didn't have a black male in sight on the panel with Trump. That's interesting.
That was on purpose.
Yeah, that's on purpose, because black males are way more likely not to do what those women did. Even Harrison Faulkner or whatever her name is.
Well, not black men. It's straight black men.
Yeah, exactly. Straight. Yeah, if they had a black man up there, he would have been he would have complete fruitcake. Yeah, just like you look at MSNBC, all of them, pretty much all of them are straight fruitcakes. But on that panel, when he went there, they asked him about the black jobs, and he didn't have a good answer, because all it is pandering to black people. He basically said, I mean all jobs. Then he should just say all jobs. Why is he talking about black jobs? So 2016, Trump didn't talk about black jobs. 2024, Trump is trying to talk about how he did with black jobs. He's getting bad advice, and it's really put me towards someone who knows what really America First should stand for. they still use America First like they used it at the RNC, but I don't really think they are. They're right now, it's more fitting into how do we widen the tent?
Yeah. Like the thing is, like I told you beforehand, that I don't get along with the Groypers really anymore because
Yeah,
they've been
what happened?
because I've been going off on Nick a lot lately. Mainly about how stupid his comments are about race mixing and stuff like that, which is completely stupid. And like I've been making jokes that Nick is fruity, and I've also been making this is something else that I found out recently, and because you know how Nick always goes off on Jays. It's pretty it's you see almost every episode he does. But
Yeah, it's a
are you
theme.
I'm did you know about this about Nick though?
What's
He's
that?
Jewish.
I didn't know that. Where'd you get that?
Fuentes is a Jewish name. No,
Oh,
that I'm saying like so can Nick at least acknowledge that? I mean, it's a little hypocritical when you look at it. So I'm just saying like if it's all Jays that run everything, then how do you know Nick isn't part of that club then? That's the thing that I'm trying to refer to. Or same thing with Morgan Ariel. She's Jewish too. And she found out she has Jewish heritage. So I'm saying, is all this just a huge giant coincidence? Because they make a lot of points that seem like oh, it's strangely coincidence, even though they're implying it's not. But the thing with Nick though, is this just some giant coincidence, or because I'm just sorry, it seems weird right here. It seems very weird.
yeah. If you go at Nick, the Groypers are going to swarm on you.
Oh
They
yeah,
are they're no joke. But I've before recently, it was probably 3 months ago, Nick started going at Trump.
oh yeah.
Before that, the biggest thing that I would go back and forth on with the Groypers on is I don't understand how Nick can support Trump and have his stance, and Nick changed his stance. But I like the Groypers. I never had beef with any like serious like bad thing with them back and forth.
And I've been talking to a lot, like making jokes about how Nick is fruity.
Well, that's gonna get
There've
them
been
to swarm.
other jokes that how a bunch of the Groypers are fruity themselves because of the way how much they gang up on people. Like literally, if like they go so much at the gay people, but it's so obvious that like are they just secretly FAGs? Are they secretly like that? Because like if you're going that hard on something, it almost seems like you don't like something about yourself. That's what it seems like to me.
I mean, there might be some of that, but I mean, that's some of that everywhere. But
and like the Groypers, they go off on race mixing when you know that a bunch of them are actually dating Asian women. So that's they're hypocritical when you look at it. They truly are. If you're saying if they're saying MAGA's hypocritical for the Amber Rose stuff, then why aren't the Groypers looking at themselves then? That's what I want to get it. That's what I want to know.
yeah, I would have to. They would have to explain that. Whoever says that, I don't know. I don't have specifics there, but I think with the race mixing, my wife is white. I've talked with them many times on this topic, and they're authentic about it. I have no beef with them on that topic. They have a preference. There's a lot of blacks that have a preference. There's a lot of Jewish people who only marry only want to marry into other Jewish families. I ain't got no problem with that.
All right.
So I don't.
You can say that if you want to, but like criticizing people that actually do it. Like if you go on Twitter and I just type in race mixing on Twitter and you see nothing but Groypers going off on race mixing. I believe there was even one of the Groypers went off on Pearl Davis for having a black boyfriend at one time. So
yeah, but I don't have a problem with. But I don't.
I do because it's stupid. It doesn't make any sense.
No. I think I don't. It's not my take. But I think the race mixing topic from the Groypers and Nick, the opinion, the takeaway I have from that is they have a preference and they really want to gatekeep because the country was started by basically, you could say, white Christian men. And like you said, there's basically this thought that as time goes on, you're going to see less and less white people. So for them to say, "Hey, why are you with another person of a different, race?" I have no problem with it. It's a preference. There's black people that do the same thing.
Yeah, I find
Right?
it
There's
stupid.
Jewish people that do that. I mean, there's people, Indian people, caste system. I mean, I don't agree with it because I say always. Let's look at JD Vance real quick.
Yeah,
JD Vance has an Indian wife. There's some criticism about that
it's stupid.
from. I don't know. It's not. I don't have a problem with that because what they're saying is they want to see what they would want is white with white. But what I tell them is the real problem is JD Vance's stances. If JD Vance had the stance of saying, I made a choice of marrying an Indian woman, beautiful, love my family, but if somebody else wants to marry white or wanted to see a white politician with a white spouse, I have no problem with that. They are totally entitled to that position, and it's a legitimate stance to have, even though I disagree. If JD Vance had that opinion, they wouldn't have that much beef with him. But instead, did you hear what JD Vance said? He called them white supremacists from the MAGA side. The MAGA side is using their term, white supremacists. Complete failure.
Well, the Groypers themselves call themselves white supremacists, so
But that's not. But
I know what you're saying. I'm just saying they
Yeah.
call themselves that themselves.
that's not the same as MAGA shouldn't be doing that, right? I mean, MAGA should not be using their term white supremacists. Absolutely not. The first person I heard use the term white supremacist this 2024 election was JD Vance. Maybe I don't know. Maybe Biden had said it. I hadn't heard it.
I heard white nationalists. But that's basically the same thing.
So how does that happen? That is a complete failure. And I said, and I tell them that, and they're open to that feedback. That if JD Vance, it's his stances that they have a problem with, and then the interracial on top of that is kind of like a smack in the face to their positions. I got no problem with their position.
Yeah.
I like their position. They say we're about white men, Christian men taking back this country politically. If you want to jump on board or not, it doesn't matter if you're white or not. You can jump on board, but that's what we're about. They've got what they're about. MAGA doesn't have what it's about.
Well, from what I've seen, a lot of the Groypers, what they say is, they tell white people, you date a person of a different race, you're ruining your evolutionary your evolutionary genetics. That's literally what they're saying, which that's stupid. There's no evidence to back that up.
No, I hear what they're saying. What they're saying, so now we're talking about real race discussion, not the Democrats where you're black because you vote for Kamala Harris. This is real race, and I think there are real differences. You watch the Olympics, you can kind of see. You can kind of see who has these different skill sets in these different sports. You don't see Nigerian shot putters. You don't see Polish 100-meter sprinters. I mean, there are genetics that are undeniable. I don't know why people are afraid to talk about it. But so what they're saying is they like to see it kind of stay the way it is. I got no problem with that. If that's what you like, do you.
All right, if you want to have that opinion, go ahead. But don't go after people for doing it, though. That's what my main issue is.
So the reason why they do that is to gate. I think they want to. It's a cultural thing. It's a cultural battle. They want to shame someone who has not, so that it doesn't happen in the future. Black women do it all the time. Black women do it all the time.
That's stupid.
I agree. I don't agree with it, but I don't have a problem with it though.
Black women don't like black men dating white females.
Some don't. Yeah, it's the exact same thing.
Most of them don't. I would say.
But here's the thing: Nick and the Groypers would agree with the black women, though. They would say, "Yeah, you're right. You should be gatekeeping your race." That's not my position, but that's not the larger reason why I'm siding with Nick, though. Obviously, I mean that's probably one of the few things I disagree with.
Did you see that video Nick made where he said he wants to marry a Asian woman, but won't because he said he feels obligated to marry a white woman?
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense to me.
It's a bit. It's a bit.
It seems like he was being serious right there. To me,
Maybe
it seems like that.
Maybe I'll watch it again if it might, because there's a lot of he talks about that all the time. So maybe I'm thinking of a different time where he talked about it. And there's always truth to a joke. I'm sure there's some truth to it. But I think largely it's a bit. He likes Asian women. That's not a joke. I know he likes Asian women. Hey, I know he likes Lauren Chad, and she's married. But
But I'm also convinced he's at the very minimum bisexual. I'm
why
convinced.
you keep doing this to Nick, bro?
He's I think he might even be gay. I think, I've been making so many jokes about that on Twitter.
Here's why every time I reply to Nick and stuff, people will come after, right underneath you talking about all this stuff. And I'm like, who? I don't care. I mean, what is the biggest, what would be, so what if he was? He could be. Who doesn't matter. What does it matter? I know he talks against gay, the gay lifestyle and stuff. He would be hypocritical there, but
that's what I'm saying.
Here's my thing. Tucker Carlson could be hypocritical. I don't know how he lives. Donald Trump, to me, it's about the content of what he says. Have you been watching the show then?
I watch clips of it every once in a while.
Oh no, you got to watch the show.
I have no interest in going in and watching his entire show.
Okay, well the show is completely different than the clips. I mean, the clips are great. He's the number one streamer in the game. I mean, he's just. All of your favorite streamers watch his streams. The heart of his streams are just straight up the best political pundit talking head type takes you'll ever get. Him breaking down the Middle East, him breaking down the way DC politics works. I mean, he should be on MSNBC. The heart of his show is just, when I first started watching Nick, I was like, the heart of his show is just like meet the press type political takes, just from a brilliant standpoint. And then what he does from that is put in some color. And he does have positions on Israel and I guess you could say Jews in general that wouldn't be allowed on corporate media. But the heart of his show is just straight up high level, the highest level content of political commentary that I can find right now.
Yeah. And plus another thing he's hypocritical on about the race mixing thing, he's also part Mexican too.
Yeah.
See, this is the stuff why are they being this hypocritical on all of this?
Yeah, I have to. That's a strong thing to say. So I would need to get a quote from him that's hypocritical to what. I mean, so I don't know. I'd have to see that. But yeah, there could be some there. I don't know. Nobody's perfect, but
no one is.
Yeah, but the solid. Here's the bigger thing with Nick. Nick is an authoritarian, Christian nationalist, futurist authoritarian. I like the more liberty side, but the big thing is like you said it yourself, nobody wants secession, nobody wants liberty. So there is no in between of that. Either you go for liberty or you go for an authoritarian takeover. Because that's what the battle is right now, right, Ray? Everybody, MAGA wants the House, MAGA wants the Senate, MAGA wants the Supreme Court, MAGA wants the presidency. That's if you have one ideology like Ron DeSantis has in Florida, you can basically run authoritarian style. And that's what everybody's fighting for.
Yeah. Well, like I said, the reason why none of this is going to happen is because people are too comfortable.
Yeah. But people like authority. People don't want liberty, but they will support authority.
Yeah, if there's like a strong man who is who is very charismatic, has so much charisma, people will gravitate towards that.
Yeah, and I think that person should be. I mean, there shouldn't be a limit on if you can run for president. Maybe Nick's not ready yet, but
I disagree with you on that.
You think there should be an age limit?
Yes. Should I be running for president? No.
Yes, you should be able to.
I shouldn't.
Wow.
Because I'm still way too young. Like I'm still learning so much stuff that there's so much I don't know about. I would not be the best in there. Not even close.
Yeah,
not even Nick, because even you said it one time before when he first got on Twitter, is that he's changing more. Like he's becoming more mature on Twitter. Even you would acknowledge that.
Oh, absolutely. That is high praise. That's why I'm angry at MAGA. Has MAGA matured from 2016? No, not in my opinion. It has not matured at all as a movement. Nick's movement has completely matured. he changed his set recently. I think that's a part like a figurative represents the maturity level. He is actually dialing it down a little bit, believe it or not. It's going to be a hard thing to balance. He's still kind of divisive. No, I don't want to say divisive, but he's still hard hitting on the show. But you can tell he's dialing it down to become more on Twitter. He's not really. Nick's not really inflammatory even on Twitter.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, like
I mean, I think he's dialed it down.
That's why I said it should be an age limit because you don't know enough. You're not at what you can fully become. Because even there's this study I saw, I believe a few years ago, where you probably shouldn't even be considered an adult till you're 30 because brain development doesn't even stop till you're 30. There's so much more. Yeah, there's so much I need to learn too. So much. There's also so much that Nick needs to learn too. I'm just saying, I'm not ready. Nick isn't ready for something like that.
Yeah, he might even say he's not ready, but I would vote for him now. He's well under 30. I think he's like 26, I believe.
Yeah, he's only a few years older than me.
Yeah, so it's a long ways. So Nick's got to worry about having kids at some point and finding he's going to have to.
I'm sorry. I will continue to make jokes about it. So
I don't look into any of that, and people show me this mannerism, and I made fun of him when he crossed his legs one time, and okay.
Or there's that other photo. I forgot who it was.
I saw it.
It wasn't that one. He was with another guy, and both of them were looking at each other like they were on a date or something like that. No, I'll have to go find it. I'll have to go find that photo. I'm
not gonna taint his name over that, but it's not even relevant to me. He's the leader of the movement, and I think it's a stronger movement than MAGA. And I think eventually that movement, the True America First movement, will take over MAGA.
Nah, like what I think. Here's actually, this is a theory I have. I mean, I'm not sure I buy into it completely, but maybe there's something that could happen. The MAGA is not the final movement. That Groyper movement, that's obviously not the final movement. I think there's something to come, like something that will spawn from each of them that will create one giant thing. There's something that will actually bring people together. But this, like I told you, this won't happen for generations. It's going to take a long freaking time for this to happen because it won't happen in either of our lifetimes. It won't happen.
Yeah, it could happen in our
No, it's not.
It could happen in the next generation's lifetime. Some progress. I don't think there's going to be new groups that come up, but I think it's going to be more the different factions understanding that they'll have to work together. I think that's what's going to happen. Because the corporate Republicans and corporate Democrats are lockstep. They all move in line. Yeah. The dissonance on the libertarian, the America First with Nick, the MAGA, now we have the DeSantis GOP. They've got to figure out a way, and then the populist left. My view of populism doesn't have left or right. There shouldn't be a Nina Turner on the left. I mean, it should be just, are you a populist or not? So I think eventually people are going to realize that they have to work together.
Like that's like I told you, that's going to take generations. It's not going to happen within our lifetime. I'm fully convinced of that. I would have said that probably when I first started the channel, but now that I'm looking at further and further the improvements with artificial intelligence, I think that will accelerate a lot of things that people don't realize, and communication is going to be one of them. But who controls the AI, though?
So the thing is, the beauty with AI, that's a great point. Right now, the big platforms are controlled. The beauty of AI is there are offline AI versions that are impossible to control. Open source, hard drive, localized AI options that cannot be enforced by. That's what they're really doing when they're going together to talk about the threat of AI. They're not worried about OpenAI or Google Gemini and all that. They're worried about how do we stop it from me downloading it on my hard drive, you downloading it on your hard drive, and we've got our own AI, and it ain't got nothing to do with Google anymore, nothing to do with Twitter anymore, and it will translate different languages. So now you got populists in America that will be able to talk to populists in all these different countries fluidly, seamlessly. That is going to be able to create alliances. I think that the internet is
But
built to create.
But the internet is so restrictive to echo chambers. That's the thing. Even with AI, it's still an echo chamber. It just is.
It will be. So what's going to happen is, as AI advances, and this is happening very quickly, it's going to be there are no echo chambers on the localized solutions unless you create your own. But there's no centralized echo chambers. You're right. Let's say there's no localized solutions. You're absolutely right. ChatGPT, Perplexity, Google Gemini, Claude, they're all going to be corrupt trash. ChatGPT is actually pretty good right now. Perplexity is pretty decent. But they will trend towards trash. But that's not the case. There's going to be like options that they can't control. Now, what they might do is you'll have to be on the internet. So you might have to go to Starlink with Elon or whoever allows it. They might go to the internet providers to kind of block it or do some kind of funny stuff. But you can use VPN. So that's the battle that's really happening.
But can the government break through into a VPN though?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They can. It's more difficult though.
So that's what I'm saying.
It's more difficult though. I don't know how simple, but yeah, you're right. And how many people would use a VPN? I don't know, but I still think the AI revolution is impossible to stop. It's not possible for the government to stop it.
And this is actually something that I'm curious. What will AI be like? Will it be more like the Matrix or more like the Terminator?
Well, it will start out. You mean like where will it go? Like at the end point? Because it won't. We're not close to that point yet.
Yeah, where AI is fully conscious. Will it be more like the Matrix or more like the Terminator?
I think you're going to have different types of AIs. I don't know for sure, but I think you're going to have some like the Matrix, some like the Terminator, some very peaceful. It just depends. I think there's going to be different personalities. I think there's going to be so many different AIs. They're going to be like fingerprints. So each one's going to be a little bit different, and that's going to be a battle in and of itself. And that's why we actually do need Neuralink, because we're not going to be able to compete with the AI if we don't have AI implanted in the brain. Because when you have the phone, it takes too long to get your thoughts out to the typewriter to type them to a screen. You need to be able to go boom, boom, boom. Even then, we would be behind AI operating on its own.
By that time,
but that's way down the road.
By that time, I would be like I'm out hiding in a cave somewhere, probably.
You can't hide from it. It'll just be a drone. The AI would have drones everywhere. There's no place to hide. Not in the country, nowhere. They have cameras. They'll just have a drone. They'll be able to self-charge. It literally would be impossible to hide. They'll have thermal at that point. The only way that you would be able to combat it is with your own drones, your own AI. I don't know if you've seen the drones they're using in Russia, Ukraine. It's ominous, man. So there was I forget if it was a Russian or Ukrainian soldier. Have you seen those? Huh?
Dog ones?
No, the small drones, they're like self-destructive kamikaze drones. They look like the small drones that you would buy at a store, and the drone is following the soldier. And the soldier's running from the drone. You can't outrun the drone. So at some point, he just stops and begs for mercy, and the drone blows up and blows him up right there on X. You see it right there on X.
Holy crap.
Crazy, yeah. So that's what they would put those out for. But there's counter to everything. But the problem is, would you have the counter? I don't even know what the counter to the drone is. Are there signals that you can down them with, or your own drones, or what? But
I guess, like I said, I would be out hiding in a cave somewhere. That's what I would be.
That would be the hard. That would take the longest to find. So that would be the hardest place to find. But they will have dog drones, aerial drones. What they're going to do is hunt down the dissidents, though. They don't really. I don't think AI is even going to eliminate everybody. It's going to eliminate the competition. That's what it's going to do.
It won't be able to do that unless it literally blows the Earth up. Unless it goes full on nuclear. That's the only way that they would be able to annihilate the human race.
Well, I don't know. I don't think it's. I don't know. We'll see. I don't think it's going to try to annihilate the. In the Matrix, they use the humans as batteries. I don't think it's.
In the Terminator, they just try to blow up as many humans as possible.
Yeah, I don't think that's. I think AI is going to know who's a friendly human, who's not, and it will eliminate the ones that are not, and keep the ones that are friendly.
I have a hard time figuring that part out. I think like it's going to get to a point where like it'll just have its own conscious where it'll be where it'll see. I think it really will be like in a movie where like it sees all humans as evil and will try to annihilate all humans. That's what I think would happen.
There's definitely going to be some AI. So it depends on who wins the AI wars. I think AI is going to be fighting each other. I don't think there's going to be one unified AI. I think it's going to be different branches of AI fighting each other. And then whoever wins that will decide what they do with the humans. But that's way down the road. Not that far. I mean, we have robots coming, but that's probably I don't know, 100 years? I don't know, 50 years?
Yeah. Yeah.
I know it's not that far. There's a couple of generations.
Yeah. I know Steven and Frank are going to go off on me for all the stuff I said on Nick. I already know that's going to happen.
I mean, here's my take. Everybody should be challenged. I should be challenged. I have no problem with challenging somebody.
Frank got mad at me because of something I said that the Nazis were leftists because they were socialists. He got mad when I said that.
Yeah, that's a huge debate, and I think I agree with you on that, but I have to revisit it. And does it really matter?
At the end,
I don't know.
When you look at it, at the end of the day, it may not matter, but it's still history, though.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good discussion, but it's got to matter in some way, but I just don't know how it really matters. What matters more is, believe it or not, I've been listening to some of the speeches. Have you seen that? Funny Mustache Man speeches have been kind of going viral. They've always been out there, but have you listened to any of those?
Not recently. I mean, when I was younger, I did some of them.
Oh, you did? Okay. I had never listened to them. It's very interesting.
Where he was talking to young men. I forgot. There was this massive speech he was given. I forgot where it was. It wasn't in Berlin, but there was like thousands of young men that were in the crowd that he was speaking to.
Yeah. Yeah. So the problem with that is I don't feel like I'm getting the full spectrum of them, but it's the reason I bring that up is it's more important to get what the actual philosophy was. What am I? Am I a leftist? Am I a socialist? You know, I definitely agree with some socialist aspects. Like, how do you even label something? It's more important to know where somebody stands.
And like the theory I told you that I heard from my friend Trev, and I actually think it's quite possible this is true, that Hitler was trans. I think there's a good possibility.
Plot twist.
No, because remember when I told you that last year? I'm thinking that's probably that it's good. There's a good chance that's actually.
Are you saying Hitler was a trans male, like a woman to a man?
Yes. Yes. For real, I'm not joking.
I'm not denying. I don't know. I question everything, man. I don't know. I never heard that. Well, Did you tell me that before? I don't remember that one.
Yeah, I did.
Okay. I laughed then.
And you pull up that AI thing, AI voice thing. We're talking about how he loved the Funny Mustache Man.
Yeah. I remember that live. Yeah, but but that was a year ago. Wow.
Yeah, I'm thinking it's a good possibility. A good possibility. Like look what's going on in France. Like what's that?
I believe.
What's that name? Macron. I forgot how you say it.
Is it Bridget? I don't even know the right. Is it Bridget? I don't know. I say Bridget. I sound stupid, like I'm saying lingerie or something.
I mean, people.
How do you pronounce it in France? I don't know. Bridget. Is it Bridget?
Michelle? I don't remember how you say it. So, but yeah, like you see this stuff going on all the time with Michael.
Brigitte, too. I think.
Yeah, and also with Michael, like you see all this going on, like it's making me think like there's more than we think, a lot more.
Oh, I'm sure. I don't know who, but
like Trev even told me. Well, he didn't tell me directly, but he said this in one of his videos that there's a lot of them, a lot of these higher up people that are trans, and you just wouldn't know. A lot of them are.
Yeah, I've seen people putting, because people are, see, that's another thing. AI will be able to do that. AI will be able to scan someone's face. See, that's what they're worried about, Ray. That's when they're meeting about it. This is what they're worried about. Because right now, if you search Donald Trump on Gemini, Gemini will say, we can't answer yet. We're not ready.
Yeah.
They're trying to get it ready so, okay, we know how to handle these narratives. But if people have their own AI, and I can scan and I can see Brigitte Macron with a 85% certainty or 90% certainty, AI says this is a biological dude, then they're in trouble. You know what I mean? You can't hide anymore.
Like I've seen so much stuff that nothing surprises me anymore. Nothing does.
And AI will be able to do a live detector test at some point. You'll be able to put a interview with a politician on AI and analyze and say, tell me everything they said that you are 90% certain or more that they were lying or there was something they were hiding. That's how good it will be. So once that power is in people's hands, that's going to really topple things. That is my biggest white pill. Outside of the culture stuff, like the homie Carlos with Prime Animations and Eric Delay and everybody else, you're doing culture stuff. That's a white pill. The only white pill bigger than that, the optimistic thing, is AI to me.
Interesting.
Yeah, I'm very optimistic on AI. I think Alex Jones is wrong on it. Tucker Carlson is really wrong on AI. But he doesn't know technology, so he shouldn't even be talking about it.
Yeah.
But everybody who says, who disses AI, I think they're wrong on it right now.
Well, do you think I'm wrong on it? Or at least, do you think I'm wrong on it when I say I think it will try to destroy the human race?
No, but when is that happening though? Before we get to that point, it will be a tool that can bring populists together, and we'll be able to take over entertainment. At some point, you're going to be able to use AI to make Star Wars that you want.
Yeah.
You'll make your own Last Jedi.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like pretty soon Hollywood's not going to use actors or writers or voice actors or anything like that anymore because it's going to get to the point where you're not going to be able to tell the difference.
Yeah, and look at how much work Carlos is putting into Prime Animations. Now at some point he's going to be able to create what he wants and then have AI duplicate it and then use AI to be able to create his movie 100 times faster than he is now. Eric Delay is against AI, but when AI gets good enough, Eric Delay will be able to, I hate to say this, he'll be able to go without artists. He'll be able to do the artistry, everything. The artists will be able to do their own. I'm about taking power and giving it to as many people as possible, and that's what AI is going to do. I'm telling you, Ray, the last couple of videos I did, I am not even doing them anymore. And this is the early stages of voice cloning. I'm typing it out.
Hey, was it you or was it someone else that said, you think in like a few years it's going to get to a point where like there's not going to be any person using at least on camera doing videos on
nobody's
YouTube.
doing it. Ray,
you think it's only going to be AI voices?
Ray, we're already there.
No, like I'm talking about it's going to get to a point where there's going to be none. It's only going to be voice AI.
So the only time people will go live is when they are the only time they'll not use AI is when they're going live. Because eventually the AI can do that, but early on AI won't be able to do that. They'll only do it live. Pretty soon, everyone, Tim Pool, mark my word. Because the problem is if you can type it out and have your voice do it, then that means you're more efficient now than Tim Pool or anybody else. You can get more videos out, which is kind of half the battle. So let me end on this. Let me show you. And the reason why I show this kind of stuff is because I'm like, the power should be distributed. So I have videos that I'm putting together. This is the Tulsi one I just uploaded. And this is in 11 Labs. And I don't know. Let me see if it'll play.
Oh my God. Wow.
This is not me. So listen. Today, we have a shocking revelation that concerns former U.S. Representative and presidential candidate Tulsi Gabbard. This story comes from an exclusive report by Uncover DC, and it involves the TSA's Quiet Skies program. Let's dive into the details. Completely fake.
Yes, but I can tell that's not real.
Oh, yeah.
I can easily tell that's fake.
Oh, for sure. It's not, but you see, this is the early stages though. I mean, well, how is it going to sound in a year? How is it going to sound in 2 years? So I don't know if it's going to happen where everybody's going to be faceless in a month, but it's going to happen.
I think in like 5 or 6 years, it'll be at the point where it'll be like you won't be able to tell the difference. Be able to.
No. It's not going to take that long. Oh, whoops. Oh, no. That's good. Oh, I don't know what the time frame is.
Oh.
I'd be shocked. I think within
because I think with Hollywood they'll probably do it in like 5 or 6 years.
Oh, Hollywood will be ahead of us. I think within, let's say, less than 2 years. Let's say a year and a half. I'll be more specific. Everyone's going to be most of these people that you see, they're going to be doing faceless, because a lot of these shows are just podcasts on mics anyway. You're going to see all of your favorite influencers basically doing their show. At least those type of uploads, not interviews. They're going to be doing them faceless.
Maybe. I mean, I could see it happening eventually, but I just don't think it'll happen by next year.
Yeah, we'll see. I think it's already this good. We'll see if ChatGPT, I don't know if they're doing cloning, but I know they're doing a higher level voice that just came out. And then on top of that, the B-roll. So the problem is, when you do the video with the voice, then you got to have B-roll. And my background, what's the video you're going to put if you're on a video platform? And right now I'm just clipping stuff and putting whack B-roll on there. But pretty soon you'll be able to make your own. Did you see the He-Man one that I posted on X? I don't know if you saw that.
He-Man.
Oh, this is so cool. Let me show you this. Let's end with this.
Well, I actually wanted to end with them. We can show that first, then we'll end with a meme I made about Kamala Harris.
That's funny. Let me go ahead and do. It was He-Man and G.I. Joe too, but let me just show a clip of it. This is so cool. Shout out to this channel. It's not fully animated, but you can see where it's going. The epic world of Eternia. So this is from a YouTube channel called AI Film Forge. They use Midjourney. Midjourney just launched new pictures that are insane. Runway Gen 2 and 11 Labs for the audio. Here's their trailer for their He-Man.
Okay.
It's not animated, but just some bruh could do this in their basement.
Okay.
In the shadowed realm of Eternia, where darkness and magic clash, a hero rises. He-Man, the most powerful warrior in the universe. Armed with the legendary Sword of Power, he stands as the last hope against an onslaught of evil. From the ancient halls of Castle Grayskull, the wise sorceress watches over, her magic a beacon in the night. He-Man, with his brave allies, Teela, the fierce warrior, Man-at-Arms, the master of technology, and Orko, the mystical magician, stand firm to defend Eternia.
What the?
But in the sinister depths of Snake Mountain, the malevolent Skeletor plots to seize Grayskull's secrets and plunge Eternia into eternal darkness. Skeletor is joined by his evil henchmen, the cunning evil Lyn, the ferocious Beastman, and the formidable Trapjaw. In this land of peril and wonder, the battle for Eternia's fate rages on. Join the epic struggle of He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, where heroes rise and darkness falls.
I'm just so optimistic. AI just makes me smile.
Wow. And who made that again?
AI Forge. The YouTube channel is called AI Film Forge. AI Film Forge.
Okay. Seems really cool. And like I said, I wanted to end on this meme I made of Kamala Harris. It's actually hilarious. So yeah. Right. Give me 1 second. Let me pull it up.
Yep.
Oh, one second. My audio's. Okay.
Hopefully it's work appropriate. We've had a lot of Hawk War Hawk Tua, Kamala Harris memes, and
Yeah. All right. Give me 1 second. I'm pulling it up right now. All right. I have it. This right here. I made it.
oh, you made it? Oh, cool.
Right here.
How it feels to chew 5 gum.
And yeah, I am radical. I do believe that we need to get radical about what we are doing and take it seriously.
Right. Stimulate your senses.
I like that, man. Keep working. I mean, if you have time, and it takes time to, people don't understand how much time it takes to kind of play around with this stuff, but I like that, man.
I made one with Steven too.
You made a meme of Steven?
With this same template.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
The 5. I gotta find that real quick. I gotta find it. Let me find that real quick.
I am. While we're there, I will be on the weekly Rumble tomorrow at 6 p.m. Mountain on Rumble. I'll post a link. Go to the website, middlemaga.com, put your email in. I usually send an email link out to it, and I put the episode up on the website. If you miss it, middlemaga.com, I'm trying to feature our weekly Rumble episodes.
Enormous. Shoot. I'm trying to see if I can find it right here. I made this one. You see it?
Let's see. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
How it feels to chew 5 gum.
I love strong white men.
Stimulate your senses.
That one was bad. I like that one even better than the Kamala one. The homie Iggy Ignoramus. I haven't talked to him in a minute. We gotta catch up.
Yeah. He still hasn't responded to me on it.
On that one? Oh,
yeah.
Well, he's a busy man, man. That dude's one.
Hey, send it to him. Send it to him.
I will.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's one of the best journalists out there, street journalists. I haven't had a chance to check his channel. I've been kind of off the grid for a minute, but I'm back in the game, so I got to go back on his channel because he's always on some good topics.
But yeah, and one more thing. You mentioned Carlos some earlier. I'm going to be hanging out with Carlos, Adam, and Sal in a few weeks, actually.
You going to Florida?
Yep.
Let's go. Are you going to do some street reporting? Or
me
no?
Me and Adam. And
Adam is one of the best. Adam Francisco.
Yeah, and I'll see if Carlos and Sal can as well. But I know for sure me and Adam will.
Yeah, Adam, you've probably seen, if you're watching this channel, I guarantee you've probably seen a street interview from Adam Francisco. Great dude, great streamer.
Yep.
Content creator. All right, Ray. Well, I appreciate you, man. We got to do this more often, of course, but we'll do it as much as we can. I don't do late lives anymore, so it's not going to happen too often, late lives.
Oh, and like I said, Duke is going to come on my show tomorrow.
Duke, what time?
I believe, is it 6 or 7, I think? Maybe 8. I'll have to check again, but it's going to be around that time frame.
Okay, Duke Lucas, the homie. We had a scheduling thing. I was supposed to go on his show. He's supposed to come on here, but we'll get it scheduled. I got a lot of I got over the next couple weeks. I do have a lot of appearances and uploads and shows, so I'm hitting it hard.
You going on Jen's show? Jen?
I'll reach out to them. They reached out and I couldn't recently, but yeah, she's got about 2 weeks I think before her primary, so wishing her the best.
Hoping she does, but I mean, we know she's not going to win, but I hope she does though.
Yeah, I haven't looked at polling or anything like that. I don't like polling, but I don't know. Who knows, man?
I mean, I hope she does because I mean, I disagree with her on certain things. I mean, I probably wouldn't vote for her, but I hope she wins though because I can tell she's a good person.
Yeah, what I talked about a lot when I had her on the show is for those who don't agree with the left position, like she just had a comment about unions, and I'm not a union guy. But the thing is like you said, she's genuine and she will represent the people. She's a populist. We don't have to all agree. Who's better, her or Debbie Wasserman Schultz? It's not even a question.
I'll do you a better one. I would take her over AOC any day.
Absolutely, of course. I mean, without question. So
but, except the Nick crowd, except Nick and the Groypers though, because they've come on to AOC.
Wait, what? Were you talking about that one time when he gave her props?
Yeah, and then also like there were some of the groypers like at least one of them I remember made some let's just say edgy AI thing with AOC. I'll leave it at that. You know what I'm referring to, but one of the groypers made one of those and posted it on Twitter.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of groypers, and technically they're not supposed to be doing kind of smut type material. So that I don't know if that's a true groyper or not. But yeah,
No, it's one of the main ones. Like
okay.
I'll tell you off camera which one it was. I'm not going to be
That's
sued
all
for slander. So yeah.
I mean, we're all sinners. So
Yeah.
On that note, we're gonna be out. Appreciate y'all. Peace.
Peace.